it's Lady Lex UK and this is Deconstructing Dreams. Something a little bit different today. There has been a little competition on Twitter between John Beach, Lucid Stew, Dirty Harold's and Snags, and they all were challenged to make a full English breakfast in dreams, which they've done. They put their results up on Twitter and we all voted blind. We didn't know who made what. And John Beach's breakfast won, but to be honest, it was a very tight call between all of them. They all did an amazing job of making realistic food. So let's have a look at all of them. So here is John Beach's breakfast. So there we have our full English breakfast, John Beach style. It's very good, as you'd expect. Some great eggs there. The baked beans are particularly good. Tomato. I really like the bottles and the knife and fork and things like that. So that's really good. Then we have Snags' Hangover Breakfast. He's gone for a very juicy breakfast, I feel. Everything looks very, very juicy. I hope your mouth isn't watering too much and you're not hungry while watching this. Oops, the camera's changing and there we go. So, use of colour here to create the effect of opacity and liquidness. It's all done extremely well. So there's his breakfast. I particularly like the toast. There's a lot of nice texture on that toast. There we go. That was Snags' breakfast. Then we have Dirty Harold's breakfast. Got a very nice plate, and he set it in a sort of kitcheny area. There's some butter and marmite over there. Dirty Harold's was famous for doing eggs. He knows how to do eggs. This is an extremely nice egg. And the baked beans are also juicy and tomatoey. I think it's very nice. And finally, we have Lucid Stew's breakfast. We only saw pictures for the competition because it was on Twitter. We didn't see video. So Lucid Stew's dubstep version of showing off her breakfast, we didn't get to see. But there we are. He's vamped it up with some music and some weird camera angles. Let's have a look at the breakfast stew. Yeah, see, there you are. It's just, it doesn't want us to see the breakfast, so it's flying about all over the place. Anyway, there we are. Some very wrinkly sausages there. They've been cooked in the oven, I think. I don't know quite what's gone on with those. They're very, very strange shape. So there we go. Right. Now, the only one of these that is remixable that we can have a look at is Dirty Harold's. And he's put it into an asset build. So it's just the plate of food. So the extraneous circumstances, the kitchen, the lighting, all of that, we don't get to see that. We've only got to see the plate. But it gives us a good idea of how to sculpt food. And he's also done a video himself on his own channel, so check that one out. So Dirty Harold's, that's Ben Pressland, his YouTube channel. He's got him making mushrooms and eggs and all sorts, so you can have a look at straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Right, so let's have a look and deconstruct this build. So we have, these have been grouped together, but the beans have been left separate. So we've got some separate beans. So let's have a look at our separate beans. How have these been done? So we'll scope in. The beans themselves are made up of, it looks like, either 2 or 3 spheres, depending on the bean, to get that capsule shape, the bean shape. And the sauce itself is a lot of red, shiny spheres just blended together. So using a soft blend, the sauce has been made separately, and then we've got all these separate sculpts, which are the beans. And this is one sculpt. So we've got one sculpt here, lots of separate little beans, and the sauce. And it's pretty simple, really. A nice glossy look to it, a bit of blend. Some of them are more proud of this red sea than others, and it gives you the effect of beans in a lot of lovely sauce. He's gone for a very, very dark red sauce there for his beans. Right, so if we scope into the next thing, we get a plate. Now this plate has been done with 3 different sculpts. So it's one sculpt for this plate, and what he's done is he's taken a cylinder, flattened it out, put a donut on the top to scoop out the center, and a donut with a hole in the middle to take out the back of it, so that you've got the step of the plate. He's also used the kaleidoscope tool to create this design around the edge, which he's done with the spray paint. And he's got the plate nice and shiny, so it looks like ceramic. So that's the plate. Let's have a look at these mushrooms. These mushrooms, like I say, there is a video on this with him making them. He has used the kaleidoscope tool. I'll just pull this out. There we go. And a rectangle to make the, I don't know what you call these, the black parts of the mushroom. Gills. Are they mushroom gills? So that's how he's done that. And you've got a half sphere, and that has been cut into with a soft blend and mixture of soft blend and hard blend to cut out the shape of the mushroom to make it look more organic, a little bit less regular, and some spray painting to get the nice colours that you need there. The butter is some rounded cubes, and again some spray paint just to make it look like it's melted on top of that mushroom, whether that's actually part of the sculpt here. So you just change the colouring so you get the effect of transparency, which you cannot get in a sculpt. So you're faking up the transparency using paint technique, which is what he's done here. We've got some bacon. Let's scope into the bacon, see what we got here. So here's our rasher of bacon. You notice both rashers are slightly different from each other. However, when you look at them, they have been molded, they've been made and copied and then manipulated afterwards so that they look different. So we've got some burn marks and things and holes that have been added to it. But it's basically, if I take away all the soft blend cuts and see what was this before it was cut into. This looks to me like a load of blended spheres. Yeah, got a half sphere here. And it's just been cut into and until you get a nice flat shape with some curves and things, using the soft blends and lots and lots of spheres. So Harold likes to make his shapes and then cut into them with spheres. This is something I also do. Other people have different techniques. The other technique that I have, I like to blend with spheres to make a shape. But there we go, that's the original shape, and you just cut into it, carve into it, and then use the spray paint to get the nice bacon effects on there. Right, the black pudding is made up of, it's been carved into with squares and things, but they are basically a lot of, if I can pull one out, cloned, and I can't pull one out, cloned squares. Lots and lots and lots and lots of different angles of cloned squares with the looseness put up a bit and put together to make this shape, and then it's been carved into the correct circular shape. So that's how that's been done. Lots and lots of cloned cubes. The tomato's interesting. This is let's just pull this out. This is basically a half sphere, and it's been manipulated with various shapes, soft blend shapes to cut into this tomato. But if we go into the tomato even further, you can see he's actually done the seeds separately. So if you were to dig into this tomato, cut into it, you can see the seeds inside, so you would get a really interesting effect as you cut this tomato. If I just move down, there we go. You can see the seeds of the tomato. So he's built this up a little bit at a time, starting off with a very dark red sphere, and then with some paint, he's changed the redness to more pinky colours and some of the yellows. And then the black parts, the grill marks, are actually more shapes. They have been done with rectangles, and they've been added on separately. So that's not done with spray paint, that's done with added shapes. And he's done the same technique with these sausages. So if I take a sausage, can I get the sausage? There we go. So I take a sausage apart. If I grab the sausage, there we go. So you've got a curved shape. It's been spray painted. You can see the spray paint when I move it back into position. He's made it so that the bottom half of the sausage isn't as brown as the top. And then for added texture and the grill marks, he's added in some very similar shapes that he did for the black pudding, except this time they're spheres. So he's added those in. Now it's an interesting technique, and it's very difficult to get it back again once you've taken them apart. But it adds texture. It makes your sausage look less of just a rounded, shiny shape. But it's a difficult one to redo. It's one of those things that will happen as you make it, and trying to, as you can see, just put that sausage back into position. I'm not getting the same look at all. And there's lots of little bits and all sorts of flying off, so it's very hard to say how this has been done. There we go, something like that. I don't know, difficult, but that's how he's done all those burnt bits with extra on. The egg, Dirty Howells is expert at eggs. He was one of the first people to do an egg, and as you can see, he's used different colours to do the bubbles in the egg, so it looks see-through, but it's not. It's just a colouring decision. So a slightly darker colour, that gives you your bubble in your egg. This is very nice. This has been spray painted slightly differently. If we move it down so that the the yolk is slightly yellower as it gets to the edges. You can see that just about. It's very subtle. There's also white, so you can move this yolk around and you can get a completely different effect. In fact, if I get what colour? I think it's a bit darker than that. And he's got some custom colours. Right, he's got some custom colours spinning that he's used, I think, for browning. Let's make that toast a bit more black. There we go. I've burnt the toast now. Let's make this egg more interesting anyway. Let's... I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna scope in. I'm gonna change it to stamp and blend. And I'm going to run the egg down. There we go. So we've got a broken egg now. Oh, it's gone. And I think we need to get the spray paint out and get rid of some of that. There we go. Perfect. So now I've broken the egg. It's now running all over the plate. So we can scope out. There's that egg. There's our burnt toast. I think that looks better, slightly burnt actually. There we go. And then we've got a broken runny egg sat on the top of it. Let's make our own sausage, shall we? So I'm going to need a curve. I'm going to make it shiny. Which shiny should I do? That one. So I'm just gonna there we go. There's my sausage. I'm not overly happy with that. Let's just there we go. That's fine. And we're gonna pick a colour for it. I think I'll go with sort of a white black bratwurst sort of style. We're going to start new sculpture just to make sure. There we go. So I'm going to put it on stamp mode, stamp down my sausage. Then I'm going to go into spray paint. Let's stick some colour on here. I'm going to go with that red. I don't want it too far down. Let's stick surface snap on. Okay, and then you need to blend with a lot of colour. So you get the look you want. I don't think that's too bad. Alright, so I'm gonna get some black. There we go. we are. So there's my sausage, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the end off it. So I'm gonna go into stamp shape, and I'm gonna pick the inside colour, and using the blend tool, I'm just gonna cut into this. Okay, and now I'm going to get it really small, and I'm just going to texturize the inside of our sausage like so. Alright, I'm going to pick a different colour, so I'm going to take that and I'm just going to get a darker version of it. So, and I want a little bit of pink in there. Okay, and then we're going to spray paint. A little bit less opacity. Right, and then I'm going to put a stamp back in. You just play about with it until you get the look you want of a partially bitten into sausage. There we go. And we need to shrink that down. There we go. So there we are. I'm going to put some tomato sauce just for a bit of fun. There we go. I think I'm gonna use. I accidentally came out there. I think I'm going to use, instead of the smear, I think I'll use stamp. And I think we'll stamp it down. And we'll get there's a little bit too much of a hard edge on that, so we'll take that surface snap off. try and get rid of that. There we go. And that needs to be shinier. Hey, there we are. And probably a bit bigger. Like that. There we are. Perfect. So that's how you work on the food. The plate is a little harder. Let's have a go at making one of those plates. So if I take a cylinder and stick it down, make it big. Right. I'm going to try it with the grid. Though I hate using the grid, to be perfectly frank with you. Right, so stamp mode, stamp, down it goes. And then we need a filled donut. And this is where having that grid is a pain in the butt, so I'm getting rid of it. I'm doing it by eye. Okay. Like that. And then we need to cut out the bottom. So we need to extend this ring a bit. Like that. Ooh. Get underneath it. Move it so it's centered. I find that the plates are actually quite difficult. See that looks centered when you do it, and then it's just not. Okay. Very difficult to do this without cutting into your plate. There we go. We got a plate. Then we're going to go into spray paint mode. I'm going to use the sphere. Going to surface snap like that. Just stick the kaleidoscope on like so. And we're going to make our design. That's rubbish. Let's do a better design than that. Right, okay. So the joy of using a kaleidoscope tool is obviously it's going to be the same and regular all the way around. So there we go. There is our design. And then we'll make it nice and shiny. Let's take a little bit of the wax in it. There we go. There's our plate. Pretty simple. And you can see the lighting. If you get a nice light shining on your plate, it makes it even look even better and more like a ceramic plate. Obviously I haven't done it as nice as neatly as Dirty Howells does because I've done it really quick. But let's put my sausage on there. There, here's my breakfast then. There's my plate. There's my sausage. And there's the ketchup. There we are. It's not. It's obviously not as tasty as Dirty Howard's one. Let's put the egg on. Here we are. So there we go. Have a go at your own breakfast. Have an experiment with food and plates and things like that. It isn't as difficult as it may look to start with, and you may find you've got great success in making food. That might be your thing. You never know. Always experiment, try things out, make things in dreams. The more you make, the better you'll be. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.